net will begin in approximately 5 minutes. KC9UDX net control here. Good evening. This is KC9UDX. My name is Matt, and I welcome you to the 2 a.m. net. The purpose of this net is to promote the use of amplitude modulation and also to establish this part of this band as a place for AM activity in this area. everyone is invited to listen. Licensed amateurs who can do so legally are encouraged to check in. We listen in the AM mode and transmit in the AM mode where possible. If you cannot transmit in AM, we encourage you to listen in AM and transmit in FM. If you are transmitting in FM, please adjust your transmit frequency a couple kCs above or below our receive frequency. This facilitates the use of slope detection, that is, demodulating your FM signal with our AM receivers. When checking in, please announce your call sign in standard phonetics. Again, this is KC9UDX. My name is Matt, and I will now begin accepting check-ins. Any stations wishing to check in, please come now.
Good evening, Matt. W9JCC.
Good evening, Matt. Cheers. K9FI.
And Whiskey Bravo 9, Bravo Whiskey Papa.
Alright, I gotta say that's our quickest start I think we've ever had here. So I've got 4.5. I'll give you what I've got, and then we'll see if we can get the other one. We got W9JCC Frank, welcome to the net. K9FI Jerry, also welcome to the net. AB9DW Dale. Dale, I hope you can hear me. I think that we have a lot of latency on YouTube tonight, but correct me if I'm wrong when we get to it. Dale, welcome to the net. And Dave, WB9BWP, also welcome to the net. And there was one more station at the beginning, which I think I know who it might be. It was Whiskey 9 Tango, and then that station, please come again. All right, got you that time, Gary. That was Gary, W9TOF. Welcome to the net. And we also have Joe on the phone. Joe, please stand by. And do we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net? Come now, please. All right, hearing none, it seems that we got everybody right off the bat here. And it's a short month that went by here. Obviously, spring is here and the snow is melting. I've obviously, as always, just been busy at work. I have not gotten anything else to talk about, I don't think. At least nothing that I can recall. Other than some new aches and pains, but we're not on 75 meters, so I won't I won't bring that stuff up. And first we'll go to Gary, W9TOF. Gary, your signal seems to be kind of weak to me, but it could just be something I'm doing wrong here. Gary, go ahead and take a turn. KC9UDX here.
W9TOF, Matt, how do you copy?
Gary, your signal is good, but your audio is low.
Any better?
Not much.
Well, this microphone may be failing. It's very, very old. And I don't see any other settings on my transceiver that I can change. Matt, you still copy?
Roger, Gary, I can copy you pretty well. It's still a little quiet, but I think we can manage. Go ahead.
All right, well, we'll go with this then. I'm running it at the highest drive as I can. Just trying to see. So, don't have much to say. The weather is getting nice. I've been out on my horse several times so far this year. I'll be taking longer rides. I have to sort of get used to it and also let my horse get used to going out. So that's about the news there. I still need to work on my antenna system here at home. I need to retune my inverted V, but I'm waiting for somebody to trim the branches. My silver maple trees are encroaching on it, and they need to be trimmed back. So that's something I need to do. I'm still working on old TVs here. I've got one on the bench, a 1957 Dumont that I'm rebuilding. That's about the news. Matt, I'll give it back to you. This is W9TOF back to net control.
All right, thank you, Gary. And I probably didn't say this earlier, but it's very good to have you here again. Fine business on all of that. I don't know what you did. Hopefully you did do something. Hopefully you don't have just a loose connection, because at one point your signal dropped off, and then all of a sudden it just became very loud and clear. So hopefully you made some kind of adjustment there. Otherwise, I'd say maybe something is loose. But you bring up that Dumont TV, and it reminds me that I have a Dumont oscilloscope, a very nice one here. I think it's 200 megahertz, 3-channel. And that's something that I took apart at the apartment I lived at before I moved into this house. And unfortunately, it was still apart when I moved, so I'm not sure I have all the pieces anymore. It was a really nice scope. I think the capacitors in the power supply dried up, and that's why I took it apart. But obviously that was a very long time ago now. One of these days, if I ever get this stuff all straightened up down here, that's one of the things that needs to go on the bench, if I can ever find it. And I did watch your most recent YouTube video, but it was on the TV, and there was a lot of commotion, so I'll have to watch it again. And with that, we'll go to Jerry, K9FI. Jerry, it's your turn from KC9UDX.
All right. Good evening to everybody. I got a copy on Tom, W9TOM. At first he was in the weeds, and all of a sudden he perked up, and he said that he was copyable. Not real strong, but copyable. He's probably hearing me about the same way. The air is a little bit light, so it may. It must be the conditions. Otherwise, I'll turn it back to you, Matt. You've got a good signal tonight. I'm back to you K9FI.
All right, thank you, Jerry. And I'll apologize to Frank. Frank, I skipped you again. I think I'm still so used to seeing you at the top of the list that I skip right over you when you're second on the list. So Frank, W9JCC, I'll send it to you from KC9UDX.
Okay, thanks, Ben. KC9UDX on the net, W9JCC, and good evening to everybody on the net. Hearing everybody now, when Gary first came on, I could tell he was in there but couldn't understand anything, but now he was Q5 near the end between S4 and S5. Matt Q about 40 over 9, and Jerry was about 5 and 9. So you mentioned the Dumont scope there. I've got a Dumont, I think it's a 306, probably from the early or maybe late 50s, I don't know. It's got a P7 phosphor tube in it, and it's got the tubes like the 12AX7s and the 12AU7s, etc. And I loaned it to a guy that when I went down to Virginia to use on slow scan TV, but circuitry to drive it, and he used the screen to paint the picture on the tube. So I've used it a few times before I had the other scopes, but it's since been relegated to the workshop way in the back, so I haven't used it in ages. So I won't keep it too long on this one. I'll get to the back of that KC9UDX, W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. And speaking of Dumont again, it seems to be a brand that's mostly forgotten. Obviously, I don't know when they stopped making things. The scope that I have must have been made in the 80s, maybe even the 90s. I'm not exactly sure. So I'm not sure when they went out of business. But of course, they had to have been a fairly large company at some time. making an awful lot of TVs that probably aren't around anymore. And of course, they had a pretty good broadcasting network for a while too, I think. And with that, next we'll go to Dale, AB9DW. Hopefully, Dale, you can hear me. AB9DW from KC9UDX. All right, thank you, Dale. Fine business. I think your signal is exactly where it normally is. I have a very good copy on you here. So whatever you're doing on your excuse me, whatever you're doing on your end seems to be working. You know, one of these years, I guess I'll have a better antenna so you can hear me. And I keep thinking about reconnecting the amplifier, but these are things that I can keep thinking about and never get around to actually doing, unfortunately. And next we'll go to Dave, WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
Okay, good evening all. Okay, first off, I got Jerry I cannot hear. Gary I could not hear originally, and then I don't know if it was about halfway through his conversation or suddenly a switch in the universe got flipped and the meter wasn't moving yet, but I could copy him just fine. Unfortunately, I don't have speakers on the computer right now. I'm in the midst of wiring up all the audio things in the room here right now, and in fact, I do that in between talking on the microphone. So I'll just have to guess for Jerry. Let's see. Well, there was an ARLDX contest this last weekend. Did a couple of hours on it. Conditions weren't real great. I said I'll blame it on conditions. I don't have all my antennas functional, but I made contacts. It keeps the electrons moving in the wires. Sunday is the Wisconsin QSO party, so I'll try to do a little more on that one. And that's pretty much, at least on my end, it's been pretty much 40 and 80 meters for the last few years. So it wasn't on last year. I had no antennas last year. So I guess no matter what, I do better than last year. Anyway, with that, it's good enough for round one. I'll send it back to Nat. This is WB9BWP.
All right, thank you, Dave. And I have not participated in the Wisconsin QSO party in 4 or 5 years, I think. And I may have some I may have some time on Sunday. I should make a serious effort to at least make a couple of contacts just to make sure my antenna and everything else here actually works. I just happened to look outside today and noticed that my HF antenna is sagging very low, and I'm not exactly sure why that is, but it probably kept it from falling to the ground. I guess when it's up too high and too tight, then the wind takes it out of the trees. So maybe having it sag like that was a good thing. But I guess I'll have to go out there while the weather is good and see what's going on and maybe raise it back up. And with that, we'll go to Joe. We have Joe on the phone from Barron County. Joe, go ahead and take a turn.
All right, thanks. Hopefully, I can get my hands on a cam radio, even though I won't be able to reach any of you guys, but I can still join the county around here. Maybe I can try to make contact with them. But this month has been kind of slow, I guess. It felt kind of long. But anyways, I guess something that's kind of new around here is I dug out a Bristol CO2 gas stove from the garage maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I made some plans with a friend to restore it, which should be kind of cool. Mechanically, it's in really good condition, but it's kind of rusty and it's like half. That's going to be kind of a challenge. But yeah, nothing probably from maybe 95 years ago or so. I think it's probably from the 20s. But other than that, I guess I'd kind of like to get some parts orders from one of the suppliers and work on some electrical stuff around here. It's been kind of slow lately. So yeah, I guess with that, I'll turn it back to you.
All right, thank you, Joe. And I don't know too much about old gas stoves, but it sounds like a fun project. I'm assuming that it's made out of cast iron, maybe it's made out of steel. And fine business on everything else. We're at the bottom of the list. Let's see if we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net. Come now, please. All right, hearing none, we'll go back to the top of the list. Gary, W9TOF from KC9UDX.
And one more check, man. Can you understand me?
Yeah, I can understand you, but now you're back to the way you first were the last time, kind of quiet. Something happened last time, you were like this, and then all of a sudden, like a switch went on, and you were very loud, but go ahead.
Let me just see, I'm wiggling my mic wire here, and although I have to say, I'm hearing come up loud and go soft as well, but not as bad as I think I am. 73s, everyone. I'll clear out. W9TOF clear.
All right, Gary, take care. I'll say 7-3 to you. And I'm not sure if you can go back and rewind on the YouTube video while it's on right now. Maybe you could see exactly what we were talking about here. You disappeared completely there this time for quite a while, and I'm not sure if that's your microphone or something else. Your signal level went down when you went quiet, so I'm guessing there's something else going on too. But speaking of which, the YouTube video, if it's not replayable now, will be hopefully replayable tomorrow, and then the day after I think I'll have it on library. I've been doing something different. I started last month. It seemed to work pretty good. Seems how I can't get the video on library in a reasonable amount of time anyway. It didn't seem to matter that I could have it automatically transfer the next day if it was less than an hour. So I started the YouTube video much earlier, and we'll finish when we finish. And if it's over an hour, then that's fine. I'll just download it and upload it manually. That actually works better anyway. And with that, we'll go to Frank, W9JCC from KC9UDX.
Okay, thanks, Matt. And I think the same thing kind of happened with Gary this last time. I could hardly hear him when he first came on, and then near the end I could kind of copy him. So I had him on the YouTube the first time around, and then when I could hear him, I turned the YouTube off. So I guess I won't need it now. We'll say 73s to Gary there. I wonder if any of you guys got your COVID shots. I got mine a week ago, and our first one, and Winnie got hers, let's see, it was yesterday, I guess. So today is, I think today is Tuesday. Yeah, she got hers yesterday, so we both got one. And so I guess we're on our way to being able to join the world again. Been enjoying the nice weather, and hopefully it keeps up, but I think we're going to get some rain here pretty soon. Anyway, back to net control. This is W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. And I sure hope that with the weather getting better and everybody getting those shots, I hope that I hope government comes around and lets us go around without masks. Excuse me again. I shouldn't be coughing. Everybody will think I have COVID. Unfortunately, that's something I have to deal with all the time anyway. It's interesting. I went to a hardware store the other day where they have a sign on the door that says if you're not wearing a mask, they will not ask questions and assume that you're exempt from wearing a mask. I thought that was kind of nice. I guess I don't have a problem with people wearing masks. I just wish we could make our own decisions instead of having our governor try to tell us what to do. But I guess I won't talk too much about politics. So with that, we'll go to Jerry, K9FI from KC9UDX.
All right. Gary stated out last time I couldn't hear any of the transmission. The previous time he was very, very light, and all of a sudden he got stronger. But this particular time I didn't hear anything at all. And I heard Joe coming out okay. Of course, Frank comes in here and tries to stand my needle all the time. He got a real strong signal. And as far as radio stuff, last weekend I did work on the TV contest, and I only made about 60 or 70 contacts, and most of them were on 15 meters. It was not so crazy up there. 50 meters was actually quite nice, but it was mostly north and south. If I got to work in South America and the Caribbean and all that, in that area, which was very nice. It's been a while since I worked in Peru and Uruguay and stuff like that, which I always think get a kick out of. And those countries, so it was a nice time. And we're thinking of the Wisconsin Diesel party weekend, and we're still kind of up in the air if we're going to be rovers or not. We're thinking about it. Because the rover, you can't talk when you're operating the vehicle, but you can go from one county to another. But I do believe you have to do it. 10 contacts. I'll have to read the rules a little closer to do that. So today I was outside playing around with an antenna. Hate to say it, I'm out of shape. I got to get out and do more work. But anyhow, it's just a beautiful day. So with that matter, I'll turn it back to you. K9FI.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure about the rules as far as that goes. I am a part of the mailing list, and I have not been reading the mailing list this year. I probably should be, but a lot of the mobile operators get on that mailing list and tell people where they're going and whatever. So maybe look up the mailing list and see if you can join it. You don't obviously have to contribute anything, but it might be good to read. And honestly, I don't think I could tell you how to join that list. So somewhere the Wisconsin QSO Party must have a web page, and I suppose the web page will tell you how to join that list. Next, we'll go to Dale, AB9DW from KC9UDX.
Hi, so Matt, AB9DW here. So I just had both COVID shots. The second one was a couple of weeks ago now. And that's because I work in a school district where the health department in that school district wanted their he has public contact, so I qualified for their process. So got both shots, and it's been a couple of weeks, so I think I have fully vaccinated. So however effective that's going to be, that's what it is. So I think that's all I have for now. So I'm going to send it back to you, Matthew, and then
All right, thank you, Dale, and fine business on that. And yeah, I suppose we'll see how this vaccine goes. It's kind of an unknown. You know, most vaccines that they issue, they do serious, you know, I would say rigorous, I guess, testing over very long periods of time, and they have not done that. So we'll see how see if it works and how well it works. I suppose time will tell. And with that, we'll go to Dave, WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
Okay. I was just taking a look here. I can't hear Jerry, but I gathered from your comments, Matt, he was talking about the list of mobiles in the QSO party. And on their website, they have those that have already forwarded their plans as to what counties they're going to be operating from. And I didn't get very far reading the rules. The other day, Jerry was talking about there were two different categories, the mobile and the rover, and so far I can't see that in the rules. He probably can't hear me anyway. So anyhow, check out the website. It's a page off the West Dallas Club, or just do a search for Wisconsin QSO Party, you'll get there. But there are a number of stations that have already posted where they're going to be in the contest. So, anyhow, there's only a few of us here. I just gotta bring this up. I heard this on the radio the other day. I was sitting in here working on my stuff, and I've got radio scanning. And I'm not going to say who it was or on what frequency or anything, but there's a Newham, and not Newham was talking to him and started filling him in on antennas and things, and he was just quoting some stuff that was like way out of whack, talking about his Slim Jim, which is a J-pole variation, and how it had up to 9 dB of gain. It's like that kind of stuff. When they're telling it to a new guy, it's like, that's almost scary. And they don't want to jump in, break into a conversation and say, no, don't listen to that guy because he is all wrong. Because that usually doesn't get anywhere. I always remember many years ago, it was on one of the computer nets, and somebody asked a question about a problem they were having, and it was similar to something that I had just fought my way through. And I even said, I don't know if this is exactly the same or not, but take a look at this, because, I just did this, and it might take care of your problem. And I think there were two people after that not only came on and disagreed, but it was like, oh, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's all wrong. You should do it this way. And that was my foot again. And those guys couldn't have been more wrong themselves. So if you hear new people on the air, try to set them straight on things, or if nothing else, just send them to a book or a reputable website. Anyway, that is enough of my soapboxing there. So I guess since I rattled that off, I'll send it back to Ned. Oh, and the same thing with Gary. He started out, I could hear him, and then he was gone. I can't even guess what he's got to look at over there. And if he is still listening, 73, Gary. With that, I'll send it back to Ned. This is WB9BWP.
All right, thank you, Dave, and fine business on all that. Excuse me. I think what Jerry was talking about was going mobile or being a rover. And I think he's looking for clarification on how to do that. I do know that the rules are posted on the website, wherever that website is. I can't bring it up right now to describe it. I haven't looked at it in years, so it's probably not where I thought it was anyway. But the rules are pretty clear, so it's definitely worth the read. And I definitely hear what you're saying about what happens when a new guy gets on the air. I remember when I was new and somebody broke into a conversation I was having and started giving me all kinds of information, and it was a little hard to take. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Everybody giving out, everybody trying to be helpful and giving out whatever information they think is correct, and a lot of guys just don't have it right. I think that's the biggest thing to remind everybody, is that we've all got our opinions. Doesn't mean anybody is right. Doesn't matter who they are. Anything anybody says should be taken with a grain of salt and investigated, I guess. And with that, next we'll go to Joe. Joe, you've got to tell us what you got going on. Did you become licensed, or are you just starting to get interested in listening? And the reason I bring this up, if you're just getting interested in listening, it's more economical, and it's probably a good thing in the long run anyway if you just buy a scanner. And the reason I say that is because even once you are operating and transmitting, it's really nice to have a scanner. I've got several of them around here, and I use them quite a bit. So Joe, I'll go ahead and give you a turn, and take your time from KC9UDX.
Alright, thanks. I don't have a license for a scanner currently, although I was kind of tinkering around with a scanner that someone at school had. And it was pretty neat. Apparently, since you do like speed bands and stuff like that, I wouldn't really want to mess with them at all in fear of getting in trouble, but it might be neat to listen to at least. Along with amp stuff, obviously, just to kind of know what the market's like around here, people-wise. Let's see, I guess on the topic of the vaccine, I'm kind of last in line to get it. I'll probably be either the last or second to last to get the vaccine. So I might have to wait a while to get it. But that'll, I guess, give me time to see how other vaccines are going. But yeah, on the topic of the nice weather lately, they got up to 59 today, and I had the day off from school. So I decided to invite a friend to go on a bike ride, and then we try to do some pictures of wildlife for the photo contest, and go to a old bottle dump that's nearby, miles away. It was still very snowy and the ground was frozen, so I didn't really come back with much, but it was neat to check up on that one bottle dump. And I'll probably go there sometime in a week or so when the snow is melting even more. So that was nice, and I hope that there's more days like that, or of a similar temperature, maybe a little cooler, sometime soon. And with that, I will turn it back to you.
All right, thank you, Joe, and fine business. I think the ground here is, excuse me, starting to thaw pretty good. I was just thinking about this the other day, how much I like the cooler temperatures that we have this time of year, but I can't stand the ground getting all soft and muddy. I really appreciate fall when it's cooler and the ground is starting to freeze. But it's a very good thing to get out and go for a bike ride like that. I would do the same thing if I didn't have to work. I guarantee it. That's a really good thing to do. And as far as the scanner, the only thing you can get in trouble for listening to is cellular phones. And that's kind of moot because the analog cell phone service is done and gone, so you really wouldn't hear anything anyway, although it's still illegal to listen, I think. And that's a political thing. We had a politician get in trouble because somebody heard something he said on his phone, and ever since then it's illegal. But everything else is fair game to listen to. I don't know what the police use in their area. Around here, everything is... I'm trying to think of the word here, but it's hard to listen to. They've got digital transmissions that I don't think we can decode. And I guess what I'm getting at here is get any kind of scanner you can and listen around. Just about any scanner any wideband scanner you can get your hands on is going to listen to amateur radio stuff, and it's good to just listen. I guess take a look at flea markets and maybe eBay or wherever. Get an older scanner. You're probably better off. The older scanners won't do everything that the public users can do, but you'll still certainly hear all the amateur radio stuff. And once you've got a scanner, then you can start building antennas. But do get a scanner, whatever you can get your hands on, and listen around. That's the best thing you can do. And with that, we're at the bottom of the list. Do we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net? Come now, please. All right, hearing none. And I guess, this time of year when it starts to warm up is when my sinuses start to act up. And it's back to where I can talk, but I have to cough. I don't have to cough when I'm not talking, so that's the way that is. Let's go to the top of the list again. Frank, W9JCC from KC9UDX.
Okay, thanks, Matt. KC9UDX, W9JCC. And somebody mentioned old stoves before. I think maybe it was Joe who was going to work on one. And it brought back to mind the stove we had when I was a youngster. It was a gas burner, but half the burners on top were gas. You lit with a match, and the other half of the burners were stoked with either coal or wood or whatever you wanted, whatever you could burn. And we had this stuff for quite a while until we moved out of that house. It was about 1951, I think, when we moved. So it was a while ago, but kind of interesting stuff. And as far as the contest, last weekend I made 3 contacts, so I made a feeble attempt at getting on there. And I talked to, I think, 3 guys in Europe. One was in Portugal, I forget what the other 2 were. But I didn't spend a whole lot of time on it. And I found that getting the COVID shot was very difficult, very frustrating. Woody and I had tried for about a month. I was signed up or trying at 6 or 7 different places. And all of a sudden, Walgreens popped up one day and I grabbed it. And I couldn't do it for Woody because she had a doctor appointment the next day, and she held that appointment a little bit, and she was afraid she might get sick, so I skipped it for her, but we got through one about a week later. But 2 different drugstores. One, I got mine right down the road here on Madison Street, and she got a little job across town for hers yesterday over to where Farm Fleet is. So, but that's okay. That was not a bad trip. And scanners are, when I've got a couple of them here, one is not being used. If I had a way of getting it to Joe, I'd give it to him. But you know, state of Lafayette, and works pretty well. Then I have a couple other smaller ones that I use just to monitor the local repeaters here. And one I just leave on our club repeater, and the other one I just scan a few of the locals. Anyway, Bob, Cadet Control, this is W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. I was at a Walgreens the other day trying to buy the antihistamines I have to buy on a regular basis. And I'm pretty sure there was a line of people in there, and somebody at the front mentioned that they were there to get the shot, so I think that the entire line of people was there waiting to get that. I'm not sure. And I was going to say something else here about scanners, and I forgot what I was going to say. Something about the ones I have here. But I guess it used to be pretty common to find these things in at rummage sales and flea markets and things. I don't know how that is these days. I don't know how many people bother having scanners anymore. In fact, that brings to mind something that is worth checking out. There are scanner apps that you can get for your phone, where there are people that have scanners that retransmit the scanner to the app. And it's actually kind of handy because you can hear scanners from all different locations. So that's something to look into too. And with that, we'll go to Jerry, K9FI from KC9UDX.
Yes, I did get my COVID shot about a week ago. It was at Walgreens. And when it rained and poured, guys, for a month, my wife was calling all over the place to watch to get their shot and get on their list. And she said she saw that Walgreens doing it, so she got on their list. So all of a sudden, I get a note on my iPad that says we're confirmed and watch the shot. And then the next thing, before I even got on the iPad that day, she said to me, "Oh, Walgreens called and come in tomorrow morning and get your shot." So I went over Walgreens and she said, "How about 10:30 in the morning or whatever it was?" So we got over there, and of course, when I got home, then I realized when I looked at my iPad that I had 3 requests for me to come and get the shot there. So I didn't answer the request that you must have passed it over. But I get my second one on March 31st, and we'll be all done. And what I've been reading about is you got to wait about 2 or 3 weeks after that to make sure that the virus is makes you safe. And as far as the Wisconsin Judo Party, if you look up on one of the headings, there'll be portable. And I was talking to Chuck about that, W9ULX, about it. And tomorrow, if I see him on the meeting then I'm going to ask a couple other questions. We need to go over after the net at 9:30 to get over to the 6-meter band, and we have a little time there. So check through the 6 meters. I'll ask you again because on the mobile, you do get so many points for each county they work in, and you have to contact 10 people or 10 or 12 contacts per county to get points. And I'm going to ask them how do we score it, because down at the bottom it doesn't really say anything about portable, as it's called. Chuck called it a rover, but actually they're listed as a portable. So tomorrow I'll clarify it, and if it's a big problem, we'll just get home, and I told my wife we'll try to get as many contacts as we can. But then again, I see how frustrated they are about the launch of this, and I don't think I would go through all that trouble. We'll have to read the rules and decide if we're going to get involved. So otherwise, it might be for fun. So back to you with that. K9FI.
All right, thank you, Jerry. So I guess what you're asking about is whether you would want to be a mobile or a portable. And I don't have the answer for that. I'm sure Dave, excuse me, when it gets down to Dave, he might have some answers for that, but I don't know if you'll be able to hear him. Well, yeah, like you said, if nothing else, just drive around and make contacts. If I get on the air, I'm probably not even going to be logging anything. I'll make contacts, but Well, I might make a log and submit it just so that the other guys have a valid contact, but I don't know. We'll see. And with that, we'll go to Dale. Dale, I gotta say that the latency this month is probably as bad as I've ever seen it. So hopefully you're keeping up here. AB9DW from KC9UDX. Roger, go ahead.
All right, very good. Thanks on that. I forgot what I was going to say here. With the call Dave, I guess I wouldn't worry too much about the people who are listening to these folks that go on and information that is bullshit. The fact of the matter is that folks who are going on don't realize that when they're talking, I'm probably only speaking about 40% of what they're talking about. So good as that, there's not going to be a whole lot that they're picking up. And the other point is the standards. I also have a couple of standards. One is, like you mentioned, desktop standard, and there's a nice handheld standard, and I think that's important to work. Which is why I listen mostly and I get whatever transfer line, and I just be able to scan it. So, but I hear a lot of what Dave's talking about. And I think that that velocity transmissions that are mostly copying that directly below this guy on the substation or Jerry. And yeah, speaking of snow, and melting snow, at least this last couple of weeks, I can't believe how big the snow is. In fact, we have a good winter in that area. We have a situation where we have properties that have prevailed with volcanic rain, and even with that, water is passing on top of the lawn. So, it's a matter of the fact that some bigger underground still frozen a little bit, so the water is staying on top. So it's going to take a while for the water to freeze a little bit. So there we go. I think that's the good thing for now. So I'll turn it back to our next program at 9.
All right, thank you, Dale. And I guess something I didn't think to mention earlier, but it seems like the background noise on the band is higher this month than normal. Maybe I'm imagining it. So you're competing with the background noise there. I did get most of what you're saying, though. And you have a good point that the people listening, like when Dave was talking about the people listening to the bad information can only hear about 40% of it anyway, or only retain about 40%. That's, I guess, a blessing in disguise, or vice versa, whatever you want to say there. So that's also something to keep in mind. And I'll tell you what, we've had signs of spring coming for a couple of weeks now, actually. So it's kind of disappointing that the snow is receding so fast, but on the other hand, it's not surprising. The trees here have been budding for a while, and some of the birds have been coming around. So that's where we're at. And with that, we'll go to Dave, WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
Okay. Well, there's one problem if spring comes too soon, or comes sooner than normal, let's say. I'm not ready for the outside stuff that I've got to do antenna-wise, and that just makes it look even worse when I'm not ready to do it. It's one thing if I had everything ready to go, and then I'm like, well, I can't go out there and do it yet because there's too much snow or it's too cold. But if the weather says you should be out here working on this stuff, and I don't have the things put together that I need to, then it's like, yeah, just another thing, nothing up there. I got my first shot a couple of weeks ago, and next one is not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
And I didn't have to try hard really at all. I got an email from Aurora one day a few weeks ago that don't call us, we'll call you. And then a week later I got an email saying, here, you can try to get an appointment, use this magic number. But there were no appointments to be had except for, I think Burlington was the closest. But in the meantime, I had a normally scheduled appointment with my regular doctor person. He's part of Ascension group, and as they were doing all the preliminary stuff, they said, do you have a shot yet? I said, no, you want one? I said, sure. And he said, okay, we'll make an appointment for you next Saturday. Okay, fine. And that was that. And I will say, even though I don't like to give them too much credit, their operation was pretty smooth. I was in and out of there as quick as your 15 minutes allows. Even the check-in went faster because the person that happened to be doing the check-in is the same person as the receptionist at the doctor's office. So I was like, oh, hi, Dave. Yeah, okay. I know who you are. Go right on in. Anyhow, in scanning, yeah, I've got a scanner here. Cost me all $5 at a Hamfest some years back. The display's a little funky, but you know it works. But something that he could try, Joe, if you're listening there, go on Amazon. Amazon is as good as any. You can get from multiple places, and look for one of the little SDR dongle things. Search for RTL, the letters R, T, and L, dongle. They're about $25. They connect to the computer, and there's multiple choice of free software to control them. They're generally about VHF, UHF only. They start around anywhere from 20 to 30 megahertz and go up. And you can get software for just about any mode. There's even trunking software out there if you buy two of them. So that's certainly a cheap way to get started. I've got one of those here, and I've got an SDR Play here also. And I bounce back and forth between the two depending on what it is I'm trying to accomplish. But that's certainly a cheap way to go, and takes up almost no room because it's the size of a flash drive. Plugs into your computer. And tell Jerry to just go on the West Dallas Club website and look at the rules. There's categories for fixed and mobile, multi-operator or single operator. So I know he was talking about the difference between mobile and rover and things like that, but I don't see any of that in the rules. And you get bonus points if you're portable or mobile, as long as you make at least 12 contacts in one county. So they don't want you to be zooming around too much. And since the contest is only 7 hours long, you really can't go too many places, I guess. Anyway, all the stuff's on the website, and same with the routes for the guys that have already said that, you know, I'm going to go here, kind of thing. And if he wants to be part of that, he can submit where he's going to be. Anyway, with that, I'll send it back to that. This is WB9BWP.
All right, thank you, Dave. And Jerry, I'm not sure if you can hear Dave, but what he's saying is basically there is no separate category for mobile and portable. It's either fixed or mobile, so maybe check that out. Dave says go on the West Dallas Club's website and you'll find the rules. I do know when you do find the rules, I guess if I were you, I would just do a internet search for Wisconsin QSO Party, but when you do find those rules, I know they're pretty concise and easy to read, so do check that out. And that brings us down to Joe. Joe, go ahead and take a turn.
Alright, thanks. topic of scanners and stuff, I have some kind of scanner down here, a Robin modulation plus 8/16, but I don't know if it'll work properly because there's a quite literally disintegrated resistor and two Scorpion diodes on it. I'm not sure what their purpose is in the unit because it does have like hitting on speakers and stuff. I don't imagine that's a very good thing. I'm surprised that it works. And at a local shop, there is a Ray Jefferson 1914-25 VHF/FM receiver for, I believe, like $16 or something. And I think that's a green radio, but it may have some you can probably also tinker with it to get down to whatever frequency or something. Maybe. I'm not sure that stuff's all pretty new to me. But those are kind of my options right now, aside from getting something on the internet that's kind of like what that person at my school said. But anyway, with that, I'll turn it back to you.
All right, thank you, Joe. And I would say that Robin scanner that you have is, if it's Robin brand, it's old enough that it's probably not real practical to use. At least not starting out. So I would not be too concerned about that one. And as far as it probably is a marine transmitter that you're talking about. That's not going to be real useful either. It won't scan a wide enough range of frequencies. I guess I can't recommend a particular brand or model, but the best thing to get, in my opinion, is a handheld or a mobile scanner that just scans everything. You can get these things that scan from either VHF to UHF, or even all the way from HF all the way up into microwaves. They're everywhere. They're not expensive. But what Dave is talking about is something that's probably even cheaper. It's going to be a lot more work, I think, and a little bit confusing for somebody just starting out. But if you get one of these RTL dongles, I've got a couple of these things here too somewhere. I've never even tried to use that stuff, but if you've got a fast enough computer and you can get the software, you can use these dongles to do the same thing. That's not the route that I would necessarily go, but that's certainly something that's doable. And with that, we're at the bottom of the list and short for time. Do we have any last-minute check-ins for the 2 a.m. net? Come now, please. All right, hearing none, we'll go back to the top of the list. Frank W9JCC from KC9UDX on the 7-3 round.
Okay, thanks, Matt. KC9UDX, W9JCC. And when you're talking about scanners, they're scanner apps for the phone. I have one on my phone. I got it several months ago. There was a big to-do, a police manhunt deal, I don't know, out a little bit west of us. And my daughter sent it to me, or told me about it, and I put it on my phone. I think it's called, I looked on my phone, it's on the app, it says 5-0 radio. And I imagine if you go to the App Store, you could probably pick that up and put it on your phone. And it did Waukesha County law enforcement, and it was all, none of it was coded. I mean, you could hear everything, but it was an awful lot of numbers being told back and forth. You know, they seem to speak more in numbers than they do in words. In words sometimes, so that one seemed to work fairly well. And I've got a couple of dongles here too, and I have not done anything with them. Probably just because they're a little more inconvenient to hook up. But anyway, I don't have too much more here. I see it's at the top of the hour, so I'm going to pass along my 73s, and we'll listen out here. Good hearing everybody tonight. Good net, Matt. Thanks for running it. And good job as usual. KC9UDX, W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. And next we'll go to Jerry, K9FI from KC9UDX on the 7-3 round.
Okay, Matt. Well, as far as rules go, there is a listing for portables right along with mobiles, but when you're doing the scoring, as far as the designation, there's no designation for portables, and that's very true. But as a mobile guy, you can operate while you're driving. As a portable, you're not supposed to operate when you're driving. You're supposed to just talk to the stationary point. So if I see Chuck tomorrow, I want to explain that if you have the antenna on your car and if he stops and you're operating, or if you have an antenna that's not mounted on your car, and that makes you a portable station. But because what we were thinking about doing is we weren't worried about operating mobile as far as movie goes, but we both want to use our call sign and run these stations and liquid differently as far as scoring goes. So I don't think anybody's going to get excited about that. But anyhow, I will talk to Chuck tomorrow for here and just get a little more clarification, because I think portable could be a lot of fun. I know, because that's what Bill always does, kept stays in one spot. So otherwise, guys, thanks for the nice chat, and we'll let you know what happens. Again, on that bike, we'll be missing out. Thanks for running that, Matt.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Next we'll go to Dale, AB9DW from KC9UDX on the 7-3 round.
Sorry for that. If Joe is interested, I do have an older handheld scanner that's just collecting dust here, and he has me pop it in the box and send it to him. If Randy can broker the deal and get a mailing at if Joe is interested, then he has to send him that handheld scanner. It's about 9 years old, but it's still functional. It's a chunky scanner, so it has a fair amount of functionality. It doesn't have all the functionality that today's scanners have, but it will be a good starter unit for somebody that is Joe is interested in it. Yeah, I can give you the mailing address from Option Box. With that, I will say 7-3, and everybody have a great week. We'll catch you next week.
All right, thank you, Dale. That does sound exactly like what I think Joe needs, so I will have Joe send me an email, and then I'll be in contact with you. And then next we have Dave, WB9BWP from KC9UDX on the 7-3 round.
Okay, 73 to everybody that can hear me. Good hearing everybody here, and good that we keep this going. I've got plenty, so 73 to all, and yeah, if you can make the contest on Sunday even for a little bit, jump in. Now, I can't say for sure how much time I'll have in it, but I'll certainly be there. So, 73 to all, and with that, this is WB9BWB.
All right, thank you, Dave. Next we'll go to Joe. Joe, go ahead and take a turn on the 7-3 round.
All right, thanks, Matt. I couldn't quite hear the broadcast. That was more so aimed at me. So, if you wouldn't mind, maybe you could explain kind of the gist of it. It was a little hard to hear over the phone, but other than that, the audio has been great for everyone. But thanks for letting me join in on the net. I appreciate it. And with that, I'll turn it back to you.
All right, thank you, Joe. And what Dale was saying is he's got a handheld scanner, which is about 10 years old, and it's a trunking scanner, which I'm guessing this is exactly the kind of thing that you need. So he'll send it to you, no charge. If you, I think you have my email address yet. If not, it's of course my call sign at arrl.net. So Joe, send me an email, and I'll get that to Dale, and then he'll send you that radio, and I'll send it back to you. And you can tell me if you've got my email address. Go ahead.
Sorry, what? Oh,
All right, very good. And with that, I will say this concludes the 2 a.m. net. Feel free to rag true on this frequency after my transmission. We will meet again on the 13th of April. Until then, this is KC9UDX 73, and good night.